What up everyone, you're watching Emerald TV, the place to be to learn strategies on living your highest potential through the mind, body, and spirit, all while having fun. And today we're going to be talking about how to relieve stress with a grounding routine. So imagine you're in a high pressure situation, you're in a basketball game doing clutch free throws, you're about to do your SATs, your NCLEX exam, you're in a meeting with an important client, or how about this? When things aren't going your way, or you just had an argument with your significant other, or your boss is just down your neck about a deadline. That's a lot of pressure for one person. These are often high pressure situations where everything just seems to be relying heavily on you, and it's moments like these where it's very easy to get caught up in our head and screw things up. I remember on the last day of our vacation with my family, I somehow managed to blow $400 in a matter of 4 hours. And it wasn't through gambling. It was through something simple and a simple mistake that I did. And that's actually one of my personal trigger points that I don't like, is wasting money on dumb things. And I'll tell you what happened. We made a quick trip to Fisherman's Wharf to get some, the sourdough bread bowls, one of those things, the clam chowder. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it correctly, but I just remember we were there for less than an hour and the parking was supposed to be free, but apparently I lost my little ticket, my validation ticket going in, and I ended up having to pay the $35, but I was doing my best to not pay it because I didn't want to just waste money on something that could have been free. So I was looking through my pockets, looking through my jacket pocket, looking through every inch of the car, and I also had my friend asking me, "Are you sure you didn't put it in this pocket? Are you sure you didn't put it here?" And then I had the parking attendant also looking at me, waiting for me to give it to them. So it was getting to a point where the pressure was starting to build, and I was starting to get triggered, meaning a trigger being something that could potentially upset you or cause you to go off. So I was feeling triggered, like I could just lose my temper or just be snappy at any moment. So it was these sort of moments, especially something that it seems to be building right after the other. I had to pull out all the stops in order to ground myself. And I'll share with you what I did, because I did multiple techniques in order for me to not lose it, in order for me to just calm back down, because I personally know that I can have a temper, and we all have this limit of how far we're gonna let things go, or how far things start going until we start feeling the pressure and we get that moment of being really tense. And it's at that moment of we're feeling angry or we're feeling triggered that we can either go through a path that's sort of destructive and be angry and snappy, lose your temper, what I used to do, or you can go through a path that's more creative, that's more productive, that handles the situation but not in a way that hurts other people, if you know what I mean. So I knew I was feeling triggered, I knew I was feeling pressured, so I knew I had to pull out all the stops, because it was just a whole bunch of things that seemed to pile on top of one another, and I knew just simply breathing at that moment wasn't going to work. So the first thing I did was step away from the situation. Okay, as much as I wanted to handle it, I wanted to take care of it, I knew if I wasn't in the right mindset, I wasn't going to serve anyone. So all I did was, all right, I got to use the bathroom. Okay, so I went to the nearest store, nearest restaurant, used the bathroom, and once I was there, I went on to the next step. So the second step pretty much is just breathe, okay? Taking maybe a minute or two just to focus simply on the breathing, because I'm a firm believer of breath controls the mind controls the body. So if I just take a moment to be mindful of how I'm breathing, and sort of it takes me out of being so caught up with my thoughts, where at that moment it was scrambled and a little frustrated. So what I wanted to do was focus out. So not focus on why this is happening or this sucks, but I wanted to focus on breathing, something simple, so I can simply regain my focus on the appropriate action. And then the third step is I shifted my thinking about the situation. So I could have easily pointed fingers about why this wasn't working or how I screwed this up again or whatever, but I took it into a context of spirituality. I believe I'm a pretty spiritual person, so I took it as a lesson as the universe or God trying to teach me about being mindful of where I put things, and another lesson about money. So when I shifted this thinking of why me or whatever into a lesson that I could possibly learn, I started calming down a lot more. The previous two steps were a huge, stepping stone for me to start getting here, and it started humbling me in a way where I wasn't sort of snappy and being a little boy and pointing fingers at everyone else except me. So I got myself into this situation, and whatever it is, I get to learn from it. Fourth technique I did was meditate, and I'm not talking about any sort of formal meditation. I didn't sit down and start going through my usual morning meditation. I simply just went on my iPhone. I went on calm.com. One of the apps is a meditation app, and I love it because it has super calming music, and I just took about 5 minutes to just focus on my breathing and surround what I was listening to into with an energy that sort of is calming. And a lot of the music and the ambiance on that app is all super zen. And at that present moment, there's a whole bunch of commotion, cars honking, people walking by. So it's pretty hectic. So this app helped me sort of recenter my focus, and started calming me down even more compared to where I was, I'd say 15 minutes before. I was at a level 10 going back down to a level 4. Okay, so and as I started calming down, I started becoming more aware of, I guess, again, the lesson that I was supposed to learn. And just allowing myself to really listen to something else and temporarily just focus on the breathing and focus on something else for a bit just really helped a lot. And the last technique I use is gratefulness affirmation. So right after I meditated, while I was driving, I started listing all the things that I was super grateful for. I was grateful to be here with friends. I was grateful to be here with family. I was grateful to be here in San Francisco. I was grateful to go on vacation. And the more I listed things to be grateful for, the more I started looking for that instead of what I messed up on. I literally felt a sort of tingly feeling from the back of my head to the front, and I felt an entire actual mind shift, and that's what caused everything to go from a 4 to a 1, and it blew my mind on how effective just, I guess, being grateful for what was going on can really shift the current emotion or current state I was in. So I may not have had to use all of those techniques to help calm me down in a high pressure situation, but if I didn't allow myself to go through it, how would I be able to practice and get better at it? You know what I mean? Now, these are the same techniques that you can use. You don't have to use all of them, especially when you're in a situation where you're feeling frustrated or things just don't seem to be going your way. But you can use a couple of them. Like my favorite ones is meditation and being grateful. Okay, I don't have to use everything I do in the list, but I often do because I want to sharpen the tools that I have for my availability. So before I go, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys do whenever you feel stressed? Some people go exercise, some people rest, some people listen to music. I want to know what you guys do. Just leave me a comment right down below. Share your wisdom. I love hearing from you guys. I do my best to reply to every single one of you. And while you're at it, make sure you head on over to the blog, subscribe to the free newsletter so I can give you guys insight and more beyond Emerald TV. And if you like this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who you think might benefit from it. And if you want to connect, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and here on my blog. And remember, we're all called to greatness, whether it's the lowest point of our lives or the highest point of our lives. From moment to moment, we all have the choice to live our highest potential. But at the end of the day, it's really up to us to choose. The world needs your greatness to shine. Thanks for watching Emerald TV, and I'll catch you guys next time.